Hello, everybody. How are you? I wish you a very happy New Year 2021. Actually, we're waiting here for Danilo to also come on with us. We have today a question and answer live stream. And I first want to explain why we made a break, a little bit of that explaining. It is very, very interesting timings. And for some light workers, it's also a time where a lot of things happening energetically. And I'm a person personally which is very sensitive for a lot of things that's going on. And when things happening to me, to be clear first, normally I go into silence and check it out. I feel right now this time is soon over to be completely silent. It's important to take breaks to digest certain things and also to see what's going on in the world. But it is also a very intense time, when you are sensitive to different dimensions and to different energies. And spirituality is mostly lived in the outer world, or prepared in a way that everything is happy, and that everything is bliss. And we just need the right breathing technique and the right meditation technique, and we are just right on track, right? That is what the world is there. And this is not really the reality of the light workers. Many times light workers are faced with a lot of things energetically, and also not just that, many of us are more sensitive than others, and that is another gift. One part is a gift because you have you feel other people and stuff. It has a downside, pretty good. It has a big down step, is that sometimes we just see the good in everybody, no matter what. But because it gives us the ability to work as empaths with people, and the light where many people cannot go anymore. And because there's a very naive energy behind it, and also sometimes the energy which is actually even a little bit childlike. And I feel personally it's a beautiful thing to be like that, and it sucks to be taken advantage of. I said very clearly here. And it also is very interesting to see different realities there and different happenings and different dimensions. And actually to be in a spiritual life, at a certain point, you experience multidimensional experience, which sometimes it's difficult for the mind to fully understand and grab. And many times, actually, I thought I got it. I really thought, now I had these experiences, I had this energy, and oh yeah, somebody else is an expert in trusting too much. So I'm an expert in that as well, very much so. And then you have to go to another learning curve, and that is initiations. One part there are initiations, one part there are testings, and one part there also might be just illusion playing. But for sure, it's important how we're dealing with those things. And I feel very strongly that in these times we are in right now, that there's very less real information. Very, 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 very less real information. And it takes a lot of meditation, connecting dots, thinking, and a lot of listening to all different teachers to squeeze out the essence of what you feel is really the energy there of having that vibration of truth, right? And personally, I feel that truth is not sometimes easy, because what if the truth you're getting out is not what you want? What if you, by trusting too much, you coming into some situation where you feel, oops, how to get out of here now? Still, you want to love everybody, but you want to put your boundaries. Wow. So I think many light workers are faced with that, and also faced by the real dimensional attacks. There are many different levels of attacks and many different gaslightings and many different ways of, trying to make you doubt your own reality, right? Which is a good thing, one part, because we should always doubt our reality in order to grow. And but I mean, it's like, it's a problem if you actually not be played honest. So, and that is a thing which happens on the meta level, like on a way of, like, many experience what happens here. Hi, dear Steve, so nice to have you here. I just see that. I'm coming to all your comments soon. It's one way to see certain things and certain patterns, but the other way is how do you deal with in that illusion. And the thing is, on with the empaths, right? They love everybody, what, right? To a certain part of level. I mean, they're not stupid, but you know what I mean. So, and as an empath, I really, really see many times there are certain levels of manipulation to make a soul to become like a certain type. And even on a higher level of what's happening on the planet, you can see that, right? And I personally think that's the only way to something to clean out and to transform. And the real shadow work is not just being strong, getting your power back, and having a certain technique. It's you have to go through and that in reality, and not in a fake way, right? So I don't know how you dealing with all of that. Let me know. But I feel actually it's a deep process, and I have many friends where I can feel they're going through something very similar. And as I met now finally some people who went over the years to similar things like I did, it's very amazing. So the network of people where you feel really supported is more than ever important in these times we're in. And it's also important to pray for guidance, because even if you have an open third eye, to what level you see, even I have a kind of astral projection, to what level I see, and what are the other levels or the levels behind that, or the energies that play beyond that. So that is, actually it led me personally to the point where I absolutely needed a break, and also really cried my eyes out, really screamed out of my lung in this black forest, really meditated a lot, laughed harder, and for sure found very great wisdom, that's for sure, and big understanding. So I'm at the point where I think personally, I don't want to mention any details or names, at this point, and I don't want to do that. But there's a point when it gets too crazy where I feel I don't have nothing to lose and I will do that. So I hope it doesn't have to come to that point, and I just can put it as a great learning experience and move thankful on. And I just want to say that everything what happens, no matter on what levels, on a higher level, on this level, on a partnership level, if you get cheated in a partnership or you get cheated in, believing somebody too much or, in other ways, there's always a gift in it. And, that gift is of learning and expanding again another consciousness and understanding so much more. And there's so much more I don't understand and I don't know. And this curiosity is something which is important, that we don't give that up just if something bad happened to us, right? So now I come to your comment. So actually, I just want to tell you that, and I hope you can get something out of that from this, because I believe we are in one part all in this together. I don't know in which part, but I feel in one part for sure we all humans are here together, and that what we are in right now. And that's another point before I come to your comments. I want to say that actually that made me feel for some time that it doesn't matter which groups are there out there, that it's just about us humans here freeing this planet out of something and moving on. And maybe that's naive too, right? So, and maybe this planet, that's another question. Then I come to your comments. I know I say that this short time, but I want to say that maybe it's not about saving this planet. Maybe this planet is just what it is, and it has to go to his learning curve as same as we have to go to the learning curve. I mean, we are happy to be on here and not have to live on Mars, on the colony, in order to be and breathe. I hope they don't, whoever they are, don't feel like, oh yeah, let's go on and destroy this full planet completely, right? But if, then it's more about saving this planet. It's really, at the end, it's a connection to our soul we have, and the spark in us and the spark in everybody else, right? And there's so many mysteries we don't understand, we don't see, we don't get. And what I can really tell you is one thing: never give up searching, because at the end, there, it's just things we can find out. And at the end, we cannot have any safety in not searching or not asking questions because we're afraid, right? I mean, that's an illusion too. Safety, anyhow, is always an illusion. When we see that in the world right now, if you feel you're safe, if you're only vaccinated, if you feel you're safe, you're running around with mask or without mask or whatever, something happened to a friend of mine some years ago. We went to a restaurant. It was many, many years ago. And actually, we talked about safety. We talked about, we visited the satsang of a guru, yogini. And we went after that with some friends to have some food together. And we had a discussion of safety. And one friend said, I feel very, very, very safe, because if I can control what's happening around me, I'm feeling safe, right? And at that moment, and it was so weird, something happened. There was a shelf on the top over her, and something, I forgot what it was, just fall on her head. You cannot believe this laughter we had. And she didn't even understand why we laughed so hard. So safety is at the end an illusion, right? And anyhow, that is but at the same time, it's something which controls a lot, right? This idea of being safe or play it safe, or, is something which can keep us hugely under control. And right now, at that point where I am, I'm thinking, where's the end of feeling safety? What is our biggest fear in all that? And is that the way of how humanity is played the most on? So finally, I look at all your questions. Okay, Steve is saying, I think I'll be a narcissist in my next life. Yeah, actually, I'm thinking too, that would be maybe a better way, but one part it is not, and we know that, right? I mean, they might think they win, but anyhow, but let them win. Even if they win, they lose something in their soul, right? So don't go there. Let's not go there. Oh, I have to look over. I try now to center myself with Shanti because at the moment my mind is talking too much and I don't know how else I can bring him down, that I can see then really what are my next steps. Did you have any idea how it's going to center my mind? Yeah. I also know these moments where I feel like, yeah, now I'm meditating and then I have my next steps clear. And guess what? I just don't know many times what my next steps are. And I know normally you should know. And half a year ago, I was pretty clear of what I want. 3 months later, I was so clear in what I wanted. And then everything changed. And sometimes it has to be okay to just wait and to just see, because we have to feel a resonance and we have to feel that is really the way you want to go, right? And so much is happening outside that I think right now the purity is on also what we do in this world and what we will do will be also not so much our choice anymore if we're not smart moving in the waters, right? I mean, there are people here who cannot come to our darkness retreat, for example. Anyhow, and all of a sudden I felt like, wow, I want to write my book forever. And okay, why I'm not making a full break out of everything anyhow? And maybe I need completely silence to write a book. So even on that, I'm not fully sure yet on, but it might come to that point for a while. And maybe that's a good thing, to just allow to go very, very deep and not just make a surface fix on something which is at the end not a fix, but another thing, right? Which brought us in a way we don't want to go. So I feel it's very important in this time to see what is really resonating and what we want to do. And I feel personally there's a lot of change in the world right now, but a lot of awareness as well. And sometimes I even think a lot of things are so much written down already or controlled on so many levels. And we are just, even we come out, one part of an illusion, we get like a hammer on the head and we have to walk away, or we cannot really understand what is really going on. And maybe that's part of the enlightenment process. So there's an interesting, a next level of enlightenment process I want to say, because I thought actually really long time I got the highest experience you can have in seeing, manifestations of different beings, being able to as a project, being able to feel people's hearts. And yeah, but guess what? The mind has to go along. And guess what? There are even different levels to all that. And there's an interesting connection I made with some beautiful soul recently. And he told me, Bharati, with all what is going on, please see that movie Packing for Mars. Okay. I don't know if you know that movie. Laura Eisenhower plays a role in that, and she was recruited for a Mars project many years ago, and actually she said no to it, right? So, and she said no. I mean, anyhow, whoever doesn't know her, she is the granddaughter of Eisenhower, the ex-president, and actually she was recruited for the Mars project. This one, which Elon Musk is talking right now, officially, hey, let's go to Mars, let's make a colony there. She actually felt like, no, let's be here for the planet. And it's very interesting when we see what is going on right now. We don't know actually where the world is heading to. And there are different scenarios, there are different ways. And the thing is, when you watch that movie, Packing for Mars, you have in that movie, you're having a shaman, I don't know how you say, shaman. And you see that shaman, he's sitting in the, he actually, I like him very much in that movie. So you see that shaman and he's sitting in the, he's saying he's sitting in the mud. And he's completely down, and he's so down, and he's sitting in the mud. And even somebody wants to pull him up, he is saying, no, thank you. I don't want to be pulled up because there are 1,000 reasons why I'm in this mud. Actually, later on in that movie, he is saying that being in that mud is part of the initiation of understanding the different levels of illusion and layers taken away from you and your belief system. Normally, I never wear black. Maybe you see that. Actually, wearing black is for me like is always something I'm being sad of. And I actually feel to take off illusion is also taking off some identity from you, who you are, who you thought you are, who this world, what is this world, what are we thinking it is, and we will see so much more. I'm absolutely convinced on it. One thing I cannot say for certain, but one thing I absolutely heard, and it resonates with me, and it fits what the Indian scriptures say. Actually, when the Indian scriptures also say in the old Nadi readings, there's many times a lot of things missing. So right now there's only 25% left over of the real, truthful information than that was there many years, forever before, right? So only 25%, so that's not so much. And they're saying that in this Kali Yuga we are in, there's only, what was it? 20% truth, only 20% real human souls with a pure or normal heart, whatever that means. So now I heard from a very good friend, Bharati goes even stronger and even more crazy. There's only 20% humans on this earth. I said, what? What are you meaning with this? He said, yes, the rest is not really human. So, okay, maybe I go there in some other videos, we'll see. But that makes sense that we don't have a very good position because I'm only 20% here, right? So talking about these things, I don't know if you heard about that and if you can relate or if you can understand. I'm putting it out there. And it's seeing that, how many people on this planet and how important we take our own little lives and how important we feel about our own drama and our own things, and then seeing what might go on a cosmic level, on a spiritual level, the wars on different vibrational levels. It becomes like a joke sometimes. Seriously. It's like it becomes this level of self-centered thinking, what most people have, because for me, like a threat for this whole thing we are living all together on. And I don't know if anybody of you feels the same sometimes. But me, it wants sometimes to make me scream. It makes me cry. It wants to make me, I don't know what. It's intense. And I think we only come here through this mess because we need a lot of heart. We need a lot of heart to feel other souls and to feel other beings, right? And we need a lot of real empathy. And maybe we are on a pretty psychotic, narcissistic planet, leaded by some really interesting vibrations, let's say like that, right? At the same time, we're going to shift, right? I really want to believe that. And I absolutely believe, even if we could not change this whole planet right now, what we do is we're sending seeds of light, we're sending seeds of light, we're sending seeds of love, we're sending truth bombs, and we're sending love bombs, and we're sending hope bombs. And some seeds might need a lot of years to bloom, right? And some seeds might need even longer than our light, our human body has on this earth in this incarnation to come out. But I think it's a time right now. It's really the time right now to think who we want to be, what role we want to play in this game, seriously. Who are we? Where are we going to? And that is really important. I know I'm talking a lot today, right? And Danilo didn't come. I don't know why. So, Tara, my question is, where is the middle way between survive and the duality and to understand that it's all illusion? Yeah, actually, isn't it? I know. That's the point, as long as we have a body, we are under the 5 elements. And actually, I have to say, my understanding of many things gurus told me in India, and especially the yogis, not the big gurus, the real ones were always the yogis nobody knew, or less people knew, yeah? And sitting with them on the fire pit, having talks with them, and some talks were about that. And some things they told me is getting bigger in understanding right now. For example, one understanding was what I got when we are under the 5 elements, we are not fully free because we are under the 5 elements. And it sounded, for me, it sounded somehow mystical and wise, but something didn't click, right? Now looking back, I understand, right? There's a level where you understand all is illusion, and you still have a body that needs food. You still have bills to pay, right? So, but it's not just like that we have a body and it's not worth it or anything. It's like, and that is what the yogis in India also say, is like you getting in divine energy to embody it, to bring it out, to vibrate it to the world, to do something here, right? And also what I understand, it's not for every soul an easy journey. I mean, I heard many, many years ago that saying, I don't know if I said that in the videos before, but I heard, for example, that some souls would not even put the big toe here on this earth in Kali Yuga, in this time we are in, because they say this is way too crazy. In the beginning times of my spiritual journey, I thought this is nuts. I thought, why? You just make enough money, you have free time, you enjoy your life, so why are you saying that? It's nothing I can teach you guys, but there's a point of realization where you absolutely start to understand that. But same thing is, there's a reason why we're here. Either we are tricked in to come here in this matrix by these fallen angels, or we having that experience as a learning planet, or we're really being part of the star seeds, being part of that light that has the dareness and the braveness, and maybe even the absolutely crazy idea and we could start to change something here, right? So the thing is, I think, detachment. That's the key. So when you chanting enough your 5 elements, there's a point where detachments come in. And even the detachment is easy to get if you're not having to act in the world. And I can say from my experience, being this 10 years in India, there was sometimes many years I had absolutely no attachment, absolutely none. Being back here in this physical 3D, whatever I have to care on, of course, the attachments come naturally. And that actually bonds you to the world. So it's a game, right? It's a game in that. And to have a little bit less illusions and a little bit less attachments, because the illusions might get even bigger as more you understand. But the point is that you have the power to chant, for example, Nama Shivaya, to connect to Shiva vibration, to connect to the emptiness, to silence. Silence is the biggest way to get detachment, to even have out-of-body experience from time to time, to really detach from this crazy game here and this crazy matrix and just like, okay, have another view, go back. And if your mind and your soul makes too much problems, sometimes even go to somebody to help you, even for your, you know, how you say in English, like your, not your spiritual way, but your psychologically way. Sorry, it's not perfect in English. Sometimes we need help in that because we have to act in the 3D, right? So sometimes we need even support to get this energy in this matrix going. But anyhow, the way of the yogis is to detach. Because then also, in my experience, having nothing, that 10 years living in India, having nothing, only spiritual illusions were hitting. They felt at that time pretty big, but looking back, that, yeah, was a very blissful time. So as less attachments we have, as less, you know, we get played with, but we are in this matrix. So it's, you know, and raising the energy of resilience. Are you saying to that resilience? Oh, it's so very important. Yeah. Okay. So I'm missing Danilo. I don't know why he put me in here today to talk alone. I had no concept. Okay, just speaking my mind here today. Dear Danilo and Bharati, why are you not more intensive on internet? I'm glad you watch your channel, but something is removing you constantly. Yeah, actually that had to do with especially my personal process, and really felt I need to really step back and watch and hope that some energies just go out of my life, I have to say. So, and yeah, as that didn't work fully, I'm back on. We'll see how things play out. But yeah, and it you know, it's a very intense spiritual processes, and I didn't know, actually they were very new to me. Also some attacks and also on a spiritual energy level. But yeah, I'm here. I learned I'm stronger again. Always you come out always with some learning curve, and even for this energy, you know, there's a lot of compassion and love. Sorry, they have to go that way. They don't have another way of honesty and connecting heart to heart. So it's sad. But that was the reason I had to step back for a while to deal with that. Okay. I know that you do know elements and elements mystery finds power. Yes, I know. Yeah, levels, right? So, right. Oh, so nice, so nice, so nice. Oh God, where do I start? You are so beautiful, guys. You have so many informations here. Do you chant Bija mantra? I chant a lot of mantras. Steve, I think the Zeus matrix created by imposter god of creation, Jehovah, and the satanic in nature, and Zeus, we are fractals of divinity trapped here, and the challenge is to go out. You nailed it, Steve. Well, I'm impressed. Okay, yes. So, I have heard these non-soul human people, I've heard they're like matrix software programs. Not sure if it means we can have relations with them, or perhaps they're just strangers in the street, right? Isn't it? And yeah, I even think personally, it looks a little funny when I want to leave it there. That question is very good. That info. Even if you look up the old scriptures, and I had some in my hand, and when you read about the Vimanas, for example, like the let's say the UFOs of the gods, or the vehicles of the gods, and if you read about certain vibrations there and the gods, and there are different gods. There are like the Devatas, there are the Rakshasas, and then there are even the immortals, like once you understand certain things, you question even all that. The interesting thing is, when I chant the mantras, I feel that energy. So something is there, and something is connecting with our DNA, or with our vibration when our Kundalini comes up. So, and something happens with our consciousness for sure. So the question is, what is behind that, right? And what is actually the way? What is happening there when we have certain contacts maybe in the future? Very interesting question, isn't it? I'm from India. I know about yogis. Yes, I can see that. You have a Devi in the back, right? So I think allowing, accepting, surrendering gets out of the ego and the heart and makes life easier without expectations. Yet I think it's important to not spiritual bypass using this must integrate shadow still. Yes, absolutely. And that is actually, if it came on a little strong, I apologize. I want to say that breathing techniques and positive thinking are not good things, but I'm thinking there's seriously way too easy to bypass stuff, right? Really. And it's a big market. And I personally don't think there's an easy way if you go in a honest way. And actually, that is a point I wanted to make, actually. So, way out of the matrix. Yeah, let me know when you found it. Yeah, I join you. Yeah. I think one way out of the matrix is that we are kind of waking up to it. I think that's part of it, and I think that's what many of us are initiation in right now. And maybe the first way out of it is our own self, and also our own resonance we have with, and especially the fears, and especially the way how we let ourselves get manipulated, and also our attachments and our worthiness and not worthiness. But at the end, the real way out of the matrix is for sure our soul, and that is the most important to understand. Yeah. And I think personally that we are very interesting times for sure. Even if it's hard, and even if I had yet personally really tough time, I know from many lightworkers had it too, and not just lightworkers, many people, and even the souls who not choose this side or being on a strange side or whatever, I mean, everybody feels, well, we are in this together, we are one human race, and yeah, we better have a chance to wake up who we are. But it's a personal choice for each soul, right? I have an interesting book about the 108 mala seeds. In that book, I have every seed number a meaning who's similar with the human talents or shadows. Wow. No, please send it to me. That's amazing. What I know, and that fits it, that you have to do the 108 as a mala. You have to do it because there's a number of petals in our chakras, and that is super important that petals are plinked in with a certain vibration to be activated in the consciousness level, right? So that would fit it. So please send it to me. That's very, very interesting. Thank you. That's great. Super. Okay. By plate you can fly by plate. Oh, you mean plane? It would be cool, like a plate, and you fly on the plane. No, yeah. Anyhow, see, everything is changing here every week, from week to week, right? We have people here from in our Germany, which cannot come from one place to another without being tested. We call it Bayern. There are other people who say no, there's always ways. And then we have countries which are completely restricted, where we cannot leave anybody in. So you have to find that out. I'm personally not a fan of this testing stuff, but you have to find out the restriction. Actually, I heard today that we might have to close for some while, that some political leaders want to go on all people who earn money and have contacts with humans. I don't know if they can make it through, but if, then that would be, interesting for a while. So check it out. Until now, we can have people from certain areas, yes, but yeah, right. So that's an interesting question. Time does not exist. Can we have command over illusion of time? What interests me personally, if somebody knows somebody and knows somebody and knows somebody, I know my researching skills also brought me many times in trouble. That's the downside to it. But it really interests me because I'm 100% convinced that we already have time travel abilities, some technical devices, something going on there, for sure. That is I personally think that there's more than we can imagine, and technique and things certain extra beings can do. From my experience, I had some out-of-body experiences where I saw some things in the future, which actually at that time made no sense to me in my mind. And I went later back in that, and because I'd adjusted what I saw before and it made sense, I felt that something would be able to change there. But that is just the out-of-body experiences. I say just because in the out-of-body experience, you be able to see certain things, and you be able to, see things why they happened in the past, or see a higher picture. And let's not forget, you many times don't see everything. You just see, it's like, for example, you're standing on a house and you just look through west, but you cannot see same time to east and south, right? So it's always there might be a chance. I heard many years back from an astral projection guy, and he had a near-death experience, and he was so smart. Actually, he said, "God, show me all the truth on that and that subject right now." And then he was able to see all that, right? He was able to see all that. So I personally forget even to ask whom I'm meeting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm teaching that in my courses, but many times when I'm really in a real experience, I'm so much in it that forget to ask a lot of things. So I think that is up to you, like how smart and how alert you can be. What I can tell you, that for sure there are even other things that are possible, even coming on a human level, which we don't know about. So I'm absolutely convinced that we humans at that point we are on, beholded in such an illusions that we kind of don't even know what is possible. We'll see if some things come out in the future. We'll see. I mean, there's some videos on the internet, on YouTube and different things where you can find information about that. And for sure, there are different ways on commanding and to heal certain timelines. Also energetically, I have some friends who are working with that, right? So plain, yeah, okay. So if someone is in your darkness retreat, what will you tell him if they have problems that others misuse the power against him or her? Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm working myself on that. Like, I think for many, many people, it happens over the life, right? And being on this planet, maybe it's part of our experience we have as a human being on a less level, on a higher level. But I don't know, any soul expects some children who never had any heartbreak in their life. Yeah. So you can imagine what kind of vibrations are running around here, and what kind of work we light workers have to make this really not a fake new world, but a real new world. So I'm thinking it's part of it to get resistance power, and we're all working on that, right? I mean, we all have our trigger points, and we all have our levels of where we have to deal with certain things, right? So I think one big level is forgiveness, but same time putting boundaries. So forgive, don't be stupid again with the situation, and with that misuse, that misuse can only hurt when you're still pulling on that old story. That's another thing, we are vibrational beings. And what I feel personally, and a good friend brought me on that recently, and it's like clicked so much. What we always do, I don't know if you do that. I mean, it's a question, but many people do that. It's like when we have a problem, right? We tell somebody and we kind of grind it, right? Every time we put our intention to it, it gets bigger. So sometimes it's important because we have to look at it, we have to grind it to understand. But sometimes, sometimes it is a level of where we kind of have to accept, and really be with that pain, and then really letting it go in forgiveness, right? I mean, I personally, no matter what somebody does to me and did to me, I don't have any revenge feelings. I don't. Right? I really don't. But I want my boundaries be expected. Right? And so that is what I would work on. Right? So because there's a so big power in forgiveness. So power in forgiveness. And just talking about that here is about the light and love. Here is Danilo. Hello.
Hello, Bharati. Sorry,
How are you?
I missed the time. So I hope that I can join for a few minutes.
Yeah. Maybe I talked a little bit too much and a little bit too much from my heart here, but this is how I am many times. And actually, we got the question, why are we not so much on? And I just explained that I had also pretty hard time. And I don't want to say what it was and names or stories. And I don't want to come to it. I just want to find peace in my life. But that was a point where I thought for a while, if I don't come on, maybe there's some quietness coming in, but it is what it is. So, but it's beautiful to see that and hear that. And I actually personally love to do more again with you, Danilo. I don't know how you feel. And I think actually we go to a very more important time the next month. We started there last year before all the things happened in the world. And I think many of this inner work we're doing, I feel, and I talked about that, I don't know if you heard that, Danilo, but I talked about that it's also very, very important to give room for that, and that sometimes there's not just a breathing technique or meditation technique or some friend who just talks you out of that. Sometimes it's so deep, and you're just realizing so much, and you're like, wow, and I'm sure many people go through different times to different levels, and I can just tell you, everybody, if you're going through something, you're not crazy, you're not bad, you're not depressed. I mean, even if you're depressed, it's look at this world. It's normal to be depressed in these times. If you start to see things, if it touches your heart, if it breaks your heart, if you would have more people like that would break their hearts, what's going on, we would live in a different world. So don't feel you're not right. I think that is something I would mainly tell you, Tara. If you would be here in the darkness of the I would tell you you're perfectly perfect as you are in your perfect state. So and if we would just be authentic, this world would be a complete different place. And just being authentic, you're doing the best you can for this revolution, for peace on this earth, and for raising the consciousness. So just do that. It's bigger than you can think what the impact of that is.
Yes. I was in an ashram like that last days, because I also feel it's, for me, from being in the city, I really need to be in places like ashrams to feel more alive, let's say, which is feel more connected, right? And there, the monk who takes care of the ashram, the sannyasi, he one day he was talking about how the Vedas, they describe the Kali Yuga that we are at, right? Like, I think we are in 5,000 years in Kali Yuga, and the Vedic scriptures describes like even 1,000 years ago how in Kali Yuga the stealers will be taking care of, like, the robbers, the bandits will be on the leadership of the world. This world will be everything reversed. Sometimes man wants to be woman, woman wants to be man, and what is good is bad, and what is bad is good. So, and I noticed how especially people who are more sensitive like us, or who are open to our hearts and who are used to or likes to follow our hearts, these times is especially difficult because what we feel to be right, people consider wrong, and what people consider right, we feel it to be wrong, and these can make us doubt our heart. This can make us doubt ourselves.
Yes.
um, because how can the whole world think, or there are even laws that go against how our heart feels, how my heart truly feels. And it is said it is normal in Kali Yuga, you know. If we, and once I understood that, I realized how, okay, it is completely okay to feel wrong in this era, because we are in an era where everything is, where the conceptions are crazy, um, where there is a lot of illusion and maya, and those who are taking care of the world are not saints like before that we had in other yugas. But um, actually, we are like upside down. Everything's upside down. And in this sense, it's completely normal to see yourself in a situation where you don't know what to do, and you feel depressed. And hearing from you now, I feel like just like this, it is completely okay if you're not feeling well. It is completely okay if you can, if you like are struggling, because this means that, of course, if you're in the right path, right, if it's not because of attachments, because we are trying to follow our heart, and following our heart in this era is extremely hard, like harder than other times. But just because it's hard, and just because it's the society says it's wrong, does not mean it's wrong. So um, I think that we have to have more faith on ourselves now, even more, um, and know that even if the whole world is against well, how we feel, um, this era is meant to be that way. It's meant to be in the way that the way looks bad, the good looks bad, and the bad looks good. So don't give up. Don't let anything else win against what your hearts tell you. And because in the end, it's also a big opportunity to really, really, really grow our consciousness, our our sadhana, like our heart. Because every time our heart is broken also, um, and you fix it, it becomes stronger, like your muscles. You break, and then you fix and become strong, and then you break and you fix and become strong. So I you know you shared a little bit about the situations when you were having some hard times. At that time, I also wasn't. I was thinking in some way, but I also wasn't feeling the pain so much. I was understanding from here, but I don't think I was understanding so deep from here. And I think I told you about that when I was like, "Oh, Bharati, I can understand you, but I don't know how are you feeling, because it's different from me." And I think I told you about that. And now I think I feel a little bit more connected, in a sense, after realizing for myself um, how what truly is right and wrong. Because I think until now we were taught that right is what the law says, the people says, and we have been following that in many ways, so that we could feel because I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of people might feel discouraged. And I even see that myself, is because when we are doing something that we think it's right, but um, others say it's not, and we start to doubt ourselves. I think that's when depression comes in. That's when doubt comes in, because you think, oh my God, I am doing this. Am I the only one doing like this? And why the whole world is thinking differently? Am I truly right? But then if you're not following your heart, you also get depressed because you're not aligned with your heart.
Right.
So like either way it doesn't work. Like if you follow like following your heart and struggling to convince others, or following others and struggling to convince your heart, right?
It will not
So
work.
yeah, I think it's
It will not work.
one thing is to, okay, we are in Kali Yuga, okay, and things are messed up now. Things are upside down now, and each of us, I think, following more strongly, being more connected and being more faithful each other, like in ourselves, in the connection we have, in our sadhana, in our own little darkness inside, and not having doubt in you, and not letting the situations around you take you down, knowing that they will try to take me down, because that's the era we are now at, right? If I am completely aligned with everything that is happening outside, I am completely, oh, I think the whole world is doing beautifully right now, um, then something might be disaligned, because in this world, what most says, what comes from the leaders today, um, it is described as something that it is the wrong will be considered right. So I
Absolutely.
think in this sense, um, I don't know why, where I want to get. I just, when I was hearing you, I
It's
remember, oh yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. It's beautiful, Danilo. I feel a big connection to you now too, and thank you. And
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I want to say something to you, Tare. I want to say something. And maybe Danilo can say something to you too. But I'm saying something maybe that is not what you want to hear, but you just say it anyway. um, this technique to be centered in yourself, is something which makes us, we want to, again, I just want to say, well, is that not, let me say like that, is this not just a concept that we have to be in a certain way, that, everybody who is having a successful business is always in a good mood, and you know what I mean? And okay, and then you make a new makeup, and then you make a new fingernail, and then you making this breathing technique, and then you running 10,000 kilometers, and then you like so fit, and then you Iron Woman and Wonder Woman and everything, and now you got it, I'm sorry, I don't think this is life. I think, that seriously, everybody who's really authentic, with themselves, sees that even that can be something which is a mask where they want to hide their true self behind it. And that was one out of body experience I had many years ago, and where I met other beings. And that beings, they had no clothes on. They were like large and being seen through and super beautiful, and they had a heart chakra which actually changes their color, and no matter what they're feeling. And the thing is how others around them treated them. It was never a wrong feeling they had or something that has to be treated. Never. It was always the energy around that tribe, which was a real tribe and not a fake tribe. A real tribe, like a real caring, a real love, a real like, wow, what's going on with you? Why you have that? What is happening with you? And that compassion changed again that color. They didn't have to hide anything. So I don't feel you don't have to hide anything, and sometimes it's fully okay to be a mess too, because I realized something. I had some trauma experience in my relationship with my husband, and I had never time to hear that. I had never time to go in that. And then I had less time with darkness retreats, less work were there. And guess what? It came up in that time because finally I had time to cry that tears where I had never time for, or where I had to put a technique on to be functional for this world, And then what it does do, it suppresses. You look strong, but something in the energy, if you with other people together, who are not authentic, who are also, no, I'm saying who are very authentic, they can feel that you are not really fully in your energy, right? And that things want to be watched, and they will come out at a certain time when you have the capacity and the time and the energy for it, and then it has to come out and heal, because only then you can switch it, right? And it might feel like you cannot hold it anymore. It might get too big and too dark, and you feel you die now. And yeah, you die. You might die, even a death in your heart, and then you being reborn because you go through that. So I don't want to say we have to be always in depression and going down. Of course, we have to go up. But my point is that, don't we have to watch more of compassion with each other and like that other beings, like, giving us love? I feel personally that would be the solution. Why we always having to be superwoman and superman, and I think that's a problem in this fake world, because this is what keeps that fake world on.
Yes, and also the conception of what is a superwoman and what is a Superman, right? And how here in this era we see serving as something bad, as something low, where in Bhakti, serving is the highest, right? Or maybe in Tetra Yuga, or maybe in the highest yugas. So I think answering the question about technique, I am very aligned with what Bharati answered. It's not about finding any specific technique to do this and that. For myself, I think it doesn't matter the technique. It is about where your heart is in the technique. If you cannot surrender your heart, if you cannot put your heart, your mind and heart directed to the right path or aligned with the right frequencies. For example, for me, when everything is wrong, I just say, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what will happen, but I know it is it's with you, God. Like, we are here together. I am here. I know you're there. So I try to connect with God, and I try to. It's not I try to. I detach the problems with God. I don't say to God, because I of course I don't want to take out my responsibility in that. But I also I give God's the responsibility, in the sense that, okay, I don't need to know why some things are happening. I don't need to know why these specific things are happening. Sometimes knowing makes it even harder. I just want to, be, even in this situation, I want to be centered in God or in myself. I want to feel connected. I want to feel that this is not something, that it is taking me far away from you, or like in a sense from God, like talking to the higher being, but something that really makes me closer. So whenever there is problem, I always say, okay, I know this is something you made. Then now what we do together, right? Now what? So I think my technique is to let everything go and focus entirely in God, or in this energy. And in when I do that, like, the external situations do not change. What happened, and what I have to do, I still have to do. But one thing happens, my heart becomes alive, because even though I don't know about anything, even though I'm in the middle of these problems, I know that it doesn't matter, because I am with myself, or I am with God in this sense, like. So what my worries, my other things, it is real. No, the external situation, it is bad, but if I can keep my heart awakened, in the sense of, what I mean, it is awakened, I mean, like, feeling connected, because when we feel connected, we feel alive. Then it feels, I can walk, I can work independent on the external problems. So my technique, or my solution, is always to sit, surrender, wherever I am. You don't have, like, you can do it mentally, you can do it, some in your altar, literally, like, surrender in a sense, to have a relationship with God, closer relationship with God, because of the situation. Sometimes you only look for God when there's a problem. Oh, I have so many problems. God, now where are you?
I mean, actually, that is also something in the scriptures saying it, actually, that actually in Kali Yuga, you should only cry for God. Right?
And then that's it. Then that's the only
That's
thing
it.
we need to do. Yes. So we are in a difficult era. So I think, more than anything, like you said, crying for God and feeling ourselves connected, I think is the most important thing. It's more important than what other things about you, what society judges about you, and what everyone else, even if everyone else think is different, if in your relation with God, that's how you feel it's the right thing, you feel from your heart, and you feel like this, that's the thing you should be believing, and that's the thing you should not let things shake. And
And
because
mhm.
yeah, yes.
No, please say.
Just to finish, because the external world right now, it's messed up.
It
So
is.
don't let your heart get confused because of this mess, in a sense that don't let it be misguided. If your heart
Absolutely.
feels this way, and and people say different things, it's okay. It's maybe it's a good sign.
Absolutely. Maybe it's a super good sign. I forgot what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being different is kind of even of the mainstream spirituality, let's say like that. You can feel even there is a different vibration. You can feel what success means for some people. You can feel, there's a lot of beautiful, helpful tips and amazing souls and hardworking souls. And for me, it's missing the authentic energy many times, where I start to see through and think, yeah, I don't buy this 100% right now. And that's sad, because it makes many other things you hear, once you feel that's true, right? It makes it look different. And oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. Interestingly, many of my real spiritual experiences, I don't like that, and I don't want you guys to go through that. I'm just sharing some facts I also don't like. I have to say that. It's not a new technique. Okay, it's not like getting heartbroken to get the experiences. Get this new technique, just $99. So
It's not a
it's not,
technique you
it's
want.
not, but it's true. Unfortunately, that the most real experiences one I had with Mahavatar Babaji after a huge heartbreak after I left my guru. And I felt like I lost everything. And then after some months, I had an experience with Mahavatar Babaji, which was so life-changing. And my friend had it with me, Jalaja. And it's even somewhere on tape in India. I always, when I talk about it, I say, I have to get that tape. I always forget again. But I know this guy who has the tape. And they filmed part of it. And we were for days, we were in Bava. Bava means you having another energy coming in you. I was so like, it was such a bliss. It was such that people were gone from all that years before. Everything was like, I got the message. This was just a big test on your character. Right now, I'm feeling in a similar situation like I felt at that time. Just I'm not gotten out yet fully of it. But every time I got through some very, very big things, later on the spiritual level raised up to a very big level. So I don't know, it's something human in us which wants to, and in this world also, it's like we're looking for pleasures, we're looking for ways to be happy. I even got a new bike, and you know what? I only drove 2-3 times. It's, it's, I really want to do it. It's good for my head. It's good for the 3D matrix body. I know, right? So I will do it. Once you realize you're not your body, just and you realize that a real love and real satisfaction is coming there from a certain energy. One part, you're out of the matrix. One part. So the question was before, like, how to get out of the matrix. I mean, one part is this kind of detachment, but it's kind of weird because you are there, but at the same time you're not fully there, right? And you have to function in it. And guys, I don't know the answer to it. And I mean, I want to have a happy life. I want to have using this body in a way where I feel like, yeah, that's a gift, and I'm not having to be here connected with my attachments and this craziness in this world. I want to do that. But we are faced with some serious challenges right now on this planet, and as more sensitive you get, as more you feel this, right? And sometimes I feel like, wow, if this was my life contract here, I have no idea what I was thinking signing that. Really, like, wow, I mean, this is like a movie. I mean, I myself feel like so many things are unreal. I don't know how you feel, guys. I don't know. It's just me, or anybody feels like that too?
Yeah, I think like one thing that every soul comes to earth looking for is love, right? When I say love, I would like, it's from all the aspects. The highest being, let's say, the highest samadhi, where you feel so deeply connected, where in a deep state of love. And we, it, and when in a place of love seekers, it is hard to not have the support from people around us, not have the support from our society, not have even from close people to us, because I think in a materialistic sense, that's where we get the most love from. Of course, that is there so that we can find higher love within us, and we should find our higher love within us. But it does not mean that it is painful to not have this love from people around us, and it is completely normal because we are beings that are seeking love, right? And so it is, and it's in this time we will feel a lot like that. We will feel a lot like that, where when you try to do a business but you don't want to be in the same mindset of the people who are today, who are the leaders of the business world, or you want to do this, but your family, or even your childhood friends, they think in a different way. Having these situations, it's really hard, but at the same time, I think it also helps us find love
Danilo. Ah,
within. But as people as souls who came to earth to seek love, it is really, really hard to have this um, closest material access to love, so dirty, like so dirty, like this part. It's really hard to find people that you can truly connect with by being 100% authentic. It's really hard to find people who are truly seeking love in the right place as well. Hmm. Hmm.
right. And also, there are so many. Thank you, Danilo. And I think also it's um, as I said, it's not really accepted. When you don't fit in, it's kind of many times like
Yeah.
people looking for a solution to fix it immediately.
Yes,
And
yes,
I think
yes. To
the
make you.
solution. Oh,
Yeah.
now you kind of frozen.
Oh,
Ah,
okay. Am I back?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're back.
Maybe internet oscillation, but it's good.
Okay.
Mm.
And I think more the solution would be like kind of really, really listen to each other. I mean, actually, I think that would be a big start if everybody would start to practice it. Actually, Daniel, you're frozen. I see your beautiful smile, but you kind of
Mhm.
frozen.
Yes, I think it's oscillating here from.
Okay.
It's oscillating a little bit, but we just continue. I think it's not that, not any problem. I think just the internet. We
Okay.
just flow it. But I am hearing everything you're saying, Bharati.
Okay. Yeah. What I also want to say is like I really think that one part of the problems we are in as a humanity is because people don't ask questions and not just believing everything they be said, but also, as you said, Danielo, not trusting their own heart and not trusting their own emotions and feelings because there's so much gaslight on it. And gaslight, if you don't know that, there's a movie about gaslighting. Actually, it's about a toxic relationship, but at the end, that's being exposed, and so the truth comes out. So, but what to do if you have gaslight on many different levels? Then what happens, is that you cannot trust your own intuition, or you're thinking you cannot trust your own intuition. That is
Yeah,
also what you said before,
and
and
that's
that brings a
very hard.
struggle. And then if you cannot live your passion, you're blocked. If you cannot go this direction, you're blocked. So you're completely blocked, right?
Hmm.
And if you're not moving, that brings depression for sure. That's natural. So there's nothing you can get
Yeah,
therapy for because it's just normal. It's just
yeah.
like would be a problem if it would be not like that. And
Yes.
so in a digital time we are living in right now, where we don't even see who is seeing our videos, who's connecting to us, who is connecting behind the scenes to certain things, we might be even played harder than we think.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm. Yeah. And I think this it is hard to say this, but this is what I heard that it is described in the Vedas that we still have 400,000 something more years of 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 Kali Yuga, right?
Yeah.
And in a basically in a world where most of the things that are considered right are wrong, right? And we still have maybe we'll have to come a few more
No, 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 no,
lifetimes.
no, 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 no. That's done.
Yeah, when we go upstairs, no, I'm done.
I'm
No,
done. I was
uh,
done last time and got tricked back. So I'm done. I'm done.
no more of this. And I think now I can feel it. I cannot say I know, because um, it would be too presumptuous of myself to say that. But I can
But
feel
I say
a little bit.
Danilo, I think one important thing is that even so, we have to go so many more times in this Kali Yuga. There's a time of a golden age, whatever that called. Whoever runs that golden age, let's say like that, right? So
Maybe
anyhow, we're here. So
yeah.
right, and there might be there are many different possibilities still, so there are many different timelines, so it's not that it's all written in stone. I think this full Satya Yuga, I think we can forget that for right now here.
Mhm.
But some some reason is there why it's not just for us to get out here of this matrix. I for some months I thought that,
Mhm.
but I really think it's at the end, if we're in this here together somehow, if we like it or not. I don't like it to be with some souls here. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't
Yes, but
I
it
have
is.
a hard time to accept that I'm
Yes,
one with those guys,
yes.
but anyhow, I am somehow, right? It's just
I think you have to be truthful. Like if you don't feel like it doesn't matter if you say you like if you don't feel. Like you have to be truthful. Like it's not
right.
going by saying that you like will not change how your heart feels. So
Right.
it is. Yeah.
It is like this, right? So I have a very hard time to understand certain mindsets. I have a very hard time to understand souls that are so much compromised. I have a very hard time to get certain realities. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but here
Mhm.
it is.
Yes. Yes. Now hearing from the golden age of that you talked about. I think I heard as well about how when this Kali Yuga was coming, I think Vyasa or some saint was like praising like this Kali Yuga because it is said to be a very auspicious Kali Yuga.
Yes.
Like a lot of some, I think there was some, I think Vyasa or some saint was like, "Oh, Kali Yuga Jai," or like they were happy for this Kali Yuga because it was it was an auspicious Kali Yuga. So we are having real tests, real growth here, and like if something I've learned in life is if you want to grow fast, you need a lot of sacrifice and hard work and like if you want to do what we used to do in thousands of years in just a few years, like if you want to clean all our karma at once, it is intense. It is not pretty. It is um you go in you have to throw yourself in there and so as auspicious as it is also hard. It's not an easy, but at the same time very very big blessing. It's maybe it's just being here is the tapas itself. Just
Oh,
being in this, just being alive here with a little bit more conscious of our hearts. It's a tapas itself, and I think yeah, that's why they say like in this era just being able to focus on God, it is the work. It's already hard enough to make you enlightened. It is just just remembering the holy names, just remembering, just connecting with our hearts and surrendering ourselves to. You don't need to do deep many years, many lifetimes sadhanas. You just need one thing, because maybe it's not because maybe it's because it's this one thing in this era is as hard as being like in meditation for 100 years, in other eras.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Yeah.
You're so right, Danilo, and absolutely, you're very right, Danilo.
So I think we shouldn't discourage ourselves. Like it is described that we only need to do this, but I think if we only need to do this, it means that this is as hard as the highest sadhanas from other eras as well. Maybe, right? I like to think like that. I feel more inspired.
Yeah, I love that, and it fits what Vidya is saying. Like a yogi I'm connected to, and actually he's saying, one time I told him, Vidya, was many years back. I told him, you know what? This is a planet full of lies. I told him that over 15 years back. I said, I don't want to come back here to Kali Yuga. Can you bless me? And he said, why, Bharati? It's so good to be in this crazy Kali Yuga because your soul is learning so much. I like it. I said, what? And he's like, yeah, you will see when you get to the other side, like how much your soul got. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like, I couldn't believe it. And another thing he told me, and it's very interesting, he said, in this time of lies, just to talk, even mostly, you cannot imagine, even he said mostly, he didn't even say 100%, just to talk mostly the truth is a sadhana. What is that? Actually, that makes me heartbroken because that is a coming back to the gaslight. For those of you who don't know what gaslight is, please see that movie. And actually, all the women know that, maybe the men too, I don't know, but I know a lot of women who have that intuition too. Like, for example, with my husband, I felt many years back, oh, now he's cheating on me, right? I felt that as a woman, you can feel that there's some vibration, yeah? When I confronted him, of course, he said no, right? Many years later, it came out, it's true. So that is actually that intuition you have. And if somebody's telling you you're crazy to have that intuition, that is telling you your intuition is wrong and your third eye is wrong and you are wrong. And that is a big crime. Guys, don't do that. Don't do that. Just say yes. And just, if a woman is saying you did that, she knows that anyway. If a woman has a strong intuition, it anyhow comes out. The truth always finds a way. Always. So don't do that, guys. I just want to say that's not good. It's a crime to put somebody's intuition down. And not just in that, in other things too. If you feel like something is off, something is off. If you feel here's something not going in the right way, and somebody's telling you, yeah, but why are you feeling that? You are wrong. So what it does, it pushes down your full intuition, it puts down your full self-esteem, and actually those guys who are doing that, they're doing a big crime, on the soul. That is not good, So, but this is the way. This is the world we're living in, right? This is a world. Many people do that without even knowing, and many people do it with, I heard a very interesting thing is that, for example, many men do that gaslight thing because they don't want to hurt that woman. Interesting concept. Okay, I can even understand that, that a lie would be, for example, better to have something there instead of hurting somebody, but not the way to do things. And also in other relationships and in business relationships and in all ways of relationships, if you really want a good foundation, if you really feel like there's real trust, and there's something you can walk on, and you're not just walking on eggshells or ice, or you're feeling manipulated, then with a person who has a lot of intuition, you have to just think twice or 3 times or 5 times or 10 times, because they might know more than they say. And so we are in a world of so much gaslight, I mean, in so many ways. And so, guys, for you all who have a strong intuition, just don't doubt yourself and pray for the people who gaslight you, because they really need it. They really need it. If somebody has to do like that, they have to have a lot of prayers happening to their soul. And we have to do the forgiveness work, but we also have to put boundaries. And don't feel depressed because people do something to you which is not right to do.
Yes, I think that's the main point. At least since I got in here, I think these two things explains really well. One, trust yourself. Don't doubt yourself. It is completely normal for how your heart feels to be different from what most people say. It is completely normal, especially in this era. So don't doubt yourself. If 100 people are saying this, but your heart's saying that, follow your heart. No, I think not confidence, but believing yourself in first place, believing your heart in first place, not our ego, not our minds, not our desires, but our heart. Learning our heart, it is the most important thing than any other people opinion, than any other, even what laws said, in the sense of, because what comes from our heart when still connected, it's what God is giving us, right? And I think the second thing is, first is trust yourself. The second thing is know that this is a very hard era. I'm not going to say bad, but very hard era where our hearts are meant to be tested. It is not like, oh, I have this inspiration, and everyone will be like, wow. No, the next, like, whenever someone have inspiration, people was like, what is he talking about? I think he's crazy. That's the normal response you have. So expect, like, I don't think there's any bad not knowing that. So I think one is be fully confident on yourself, on your heart, and two, know where we are at right now. Know the area we are at. Know that this clashes between heart and mind, it is meant to happen, and it is happening. And what is controlling this world is not the heart, and that's why it's so hard. So don't be discouraged when it seems everything is against you, because to those who fully follow their heart, most will be against them. Jesus was crucified. What can you say more about this era, right? The big saints are all they when they try to bring wisdom from their heart, wisdom that can bring change to this planet, they got all crucified in each one's way. And this has been happening again and again and again and again and again, and it will also happen to us in maybe smaller scales, right? But I think we cannot be discouraged, and being connected to this is I think is the thing that we should be focusing on, being listening to our intuition. And I think once you listen to your intuition, you also start to respect others people's intuition. I think the only reason why people disrespect others people's intuition is because they're used to disrespecting their own intuition, because they are used to thinking that their own heart messages are crazy. That's why when they see other people having this connection with the heart, they also think it's crazy, because they think that's for themselves. So it is a very sad, it's a very sad position for many, which we are, like, you can see even like in small cultures, like in Brazil, doing small lies. They say it's Brazilian culture, having small lies, like, and like 99% of the people is saying this, and they say as if it is the most normal thing, and that's the crazy thing. that
That is crazy, and and I want to say with what are you saying right now is also I feel that it's a time for truth. One part, we are in a time where no matter what, how much hard energy is put in on, things getting still exposed. So that's interesting. As more they try to pull, the ball under the ocean, as more it pops up, and there's a point where you cannot, you try with both hands and somebody else laying on it, but somehow it's just showing. Well, even without anybody saying something or anybody doing anything, it's just it's a very interesting time because it's a time where consciousness is raising, and and actually I want to say something also what you said about if you feel what is right, and if you feel what is wrong is wrong. For example, I also feel that even if you already feel that what is right for you or not, is that it might not fit in, or you might look like you are very unique with your ideas, or very, how do you say, maybe in German we say altmodisch. You're very yeah.
The black sheep.
How do you say?
The black sheep.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be famous to it doesn't seem to be famous to be for example, in a lifestyle which is having a lot to do with respect and unity and real love, and it seems it's a this fake world which is out there is trying to come more and more close, and is changing society and is changing morals, and is I mean, for sure there are people who don't feel that it's the morals. And I feel very sorry because I think that they are looking for some love and some real energy. They're trying to find in certain practice of sex and certain practice of lifestyle. They think this is a free way of doing things, but maybe in their lives they will see that there are certain things that a concept cannot buy, let's say like that, and there's a connection to God and to energy which has to do with the real inner shadow work and decoding and feeling real love and feeling real connections, like the beings I talked about in the beginning.
Yes. One thing I heard from now hearing from it, I also remember that the reason why we get so stressed up when we think about death and finishing, it's because our souls are not used to it, because our souls are immortal souls, and when they come with the concept I'm going to die, and they're like, how is this I'm going to die? What does this mean? Like, what do you mean I'm going to die? Because it's our soul's nature to it's not, there's no death to our soul. And I think it's the same thing that on other aspects. Imagine if one of those beings decided, I'm going to incarnate, I'm going to go to Kali Yuga, and he's used to always being in his heart, always being in his intuition, connecting to people in high levels, and they come here and they do this, and it's different, and you're like, just like everyone is like, what do you mean I'm going to die? What do you mean you don't listen to your intuition? Because maybe for some souls, this is such a normal thing that when other people talk about it's not normal, they say like, what do you mean it's not normal? I've been doing this for many many lifetimes, and I think it is so too. It is normal to feel, like, why people think like this, because maybe it's not something natural for our souls, right?
No.
And I don't think it is natural to believing in situations where there's so much mud, there's so much cleansing to do. That's why we sometimes higher souls have a harder time, a much harder time than souls who are used to it, who are already adapted to, I fit in some way or another. But in the end, as the cleansing happens, like you said, everything comes to light, because there is no hiding to to God. There is no hiding to the highest, or the highest being. We are so small in this universe. There is no way we can possibly hide or anything.
Absolutely. Oh, I love what you just said, Danilo. It's yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah, actually, it's even said in with a lot of talks I had with yogis, a lot of them. I mean, again, I'm not talking the big ashrams. I'm talking the real yogis sitting on the fire pit on the duni, having these discussions with them, and some of them told me like the real yogi life and sadhu life is always a complete unfair life. It feels very unfair, and I'm not happy to have an unfair life. Yeah, I want to say so. It's not like they're saying, "Yeah, give me some unfair life," or no, not at all. It's just like sometimes things happening, and if you go for truth, no matter what it is, you're getting some tests, and you're like, no, please don't not. I mean, I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, get me that next test. I mean, I'm like kind of what? No.
More
wrong address.
That's what you agreed. I didn't know it was going to be like this when I came here.
Yeah, no, this test you have the wrong number on the phone. you mean another person.
Yeah, I think it's I feel that sometimes like this also. Like sometimes I say, oh, I'm going to do this sadhana, and on the middle of the sadhana, I feel like, why I choose to do this sadhana? And I'm like, it's so hard. Why do I put myself in these situations? And I think the same, like, oh, I'm going to be born, I'm going to, I don't care about all these negative things. I can do it, and we come here, and then really, oh no, why we here? But like, I think like every true sadhana that we followed through until the end without giving up, there will be like high rewards for, in a sense of fulfillment. I think it's similar.
They might not be from this earth, but for sure they're
Yes, like there will be in a time I will be like, I'm so glad I went through it. I'm so glad. During it's never the time, during the process. Of course, you want to be happy during the process too, but we know that when cleansing it's being done, it is being cleansed,
Absolutely, and somehow, that is a good thing you're saying, is a cleansing, because we all, is what Steve said. We're in a kind of matrix where we kind of it's ruled by negative forces and so on. But yeah, somehow we are resonated with something. Maybe we was falling into some trap, or we have something to cleanse, or we have something to realize, or we have some karma, or whatever it is. So we have to take responsible for that, and you know, that would be a victim mindset to say, why is this happening? I mean, I have sometimes this victim mindset for sure. I'm not free of that, but anyhow, we have to get the full responsible back there. Okay, so this is happening. Yeah, okay, so bring it on. And I remember giving birth to my son, and after having contractions for like I don't know, some hours, I felt like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. And then realizing I cannot go out because I have to birth him there. This body does it. So it doesn't matter if I want that or not. The process is going and I'm in the middle of it, if I want it or not. So, wow, that was an intense moment. I had that realization. It's like, okay, there's no way out. I'm in, right? So
Was my choice. Yeah, I decided this. Now I am here.
yeah.
Yes.
And I want to tell you guys, you know, it doesn't mean that you guys have all problems forever and the world is a bad place forever and we cannot be happy. It's just like the energy is being played on the planet and for many souls right now, and the illusions levels of also the psychic people, the attacks on the on star seeds, on light workers. I mean, I'm not the only one, so I know some other people I'm also connected to. So this is real stuff, right? So we be talking a little bit and you know, to those, for those, and also for all of those who feel that okay, who feel more sensitive to things. I mean, there are people who don't feel anything. They're in their own world right now, and they're happy in their own world. They only see their own problems. Yeah. So for me, it's a different reality right now, and I know many, for them it's too, because their vibration is raised and they're getting things to see, and they're having some things to realize, and I mean, that level on unconditional love you have to raise to being attacked on many different levels is something you can choose. So you don't have to choose that. You can also go another way, but in my soul, I go this way, and I absolutely believe in higher play of karma and a higher sense, and I think that's another thing where once we're trusting that, and once we're connecting to that light, there's you feel a connection like you would not get if you're not getting to hard times. Like, for example, when I got my experience with Mahavatar Babaji, I didn't get that by sitting happy and having a great life. Unfortunately, I really would love to have that, but before that, I went to, I think, 1.5 years of the hardest I ever had in my life before. Right now, it feels similar to me. Before I had that darshan to my Avatar Babaji, it felt similar to what happens there than what it happens right now. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Like you said, we're not here to encourage, saying, oh, everything it is wrong, everything is crazy. But I think it's important to understand, have a clear knowledge of what we are doing and what is the environment we are in. Because if we know the environment we are in and we are not creating all these illusions in our head, oh, everything is perfect, everything is everything is going well, and we know that, okay, we are in a world where no, there are a lot of lies, there are a lot of negative things. It is also easier for us to prepare ourselves to fight, or to go through this experience, because sometimes if we have this Alice Wonderland perception of the world, and when we truly go in the spiritual spiritual work with the perception, okay, the spiritual work is wonderland work. No, we are doing spiritual work in a Kali Yuga, right? So,
I don't know
like,
what the fuck I was thinking. I have to say that again.
and so I think we have to be very clear with that. And when we're clear and we accept that, we can also become stronger. I think that's the purpose of talking about this. These things is not to get us down, is not to get us more depressed. No, it is to, this is what is happening, and we are here, neitherless, and we follow our heart. Now at least we know the obstacles when following our heart, because if we strike, because if you're going to get punched, if you know you're going to get punched, you get ready. You put your you put your mouth. But if you get punched when you're like distracted, that's the worst hit you can take.
Yes.
But at least if you're prepared, you try to dodge the punches. We try to dodge, but at least if we cannot dodge, at least we know the punch is coming. And I'm not saying I want everyone to be punched, but it's this is the era we are at.
But also, there's a beautiful thing, there are many souls also in a real spiritual world who are actually waking up to that too. And I mean, I met some people who had similar experiences like I have, and actually one soul told me he is like kind of having that since 10 years, and his mother too, and he it's interesting. So to actually find a way to realize certain things, it actually can really make you stronger. I really think it can break you or make you stronger. I think what is very important here for me is like I really want to believe that everybody does their best on their own consciousness and the best on how they believe the world is, right? So I don't have to punch back, There's a point I would, for sure, if that level is overstaged. But until that level is reached, I can say, okay, guys, thank you for that initiation, for standing there. Take care, good luck. Right? But even that takes strength, because I think there's some natural energy in us that, I feel it, that wants to fight back. And I feel like, okay, here is enough now, right? And I feel really it's like this kind of to really believe in this higher love and this higher guidance, and then to see what those souls who do bad to you create on karma creates like a kind of, can create a transcendental compassion for the soul. So seeing how much they are trapped in kind of what illusions are that, and so important is to keep the boundaries in that. But I know even people who are working on decoding that. I know people who are working on kind of helping to heal certain people who manipulate, on that levels, right? Like, wow. So we have to get a love and compassion. It's, otherwise we are not better than the other side. So this is a way to go, right? And I really want to believe that, and maybe with being that, we can touch that spark in their souls in a kind of way of that interaction that wasn't for nothing. That was not for nothing. It gave both of sides some realization and some some deeper understanding. So this is the way I love to see that.
Nice.
What is in your head?
I was thinking.
Oh, you're in silence mode. I cannot hear you, Danilo. You put your silence mode on.
Oh yeah, I was talking to myself. I was looking. I looked at the clock, and it was like 2 hours, and I was thinking, oh,
Oh yeah, we should
someone
stop.
is still
I know.
here. Like
I
I
don't
don't
even know if you
know
can
if
follow
he's
us, guys.
sleeping or like. But it's nice having these kind of conversations, having this kind of openness. It is. I don't think it's something that you can find on YouTube. Um, in a sense that like I think it's even hard to find anywhere. I've been in the ashrams for some time. I want for in one specific one. I want to invite the monks there, the sannyasidas, to one day come. They are true bhaktis, but bhaktis yogis in every sense that they are doing. I think that's why I like so much to go there, and just seeing them makes me know, oh, whew, so much to go yet, like on their devotion, on their humbleness, on on their wisdom that don't look like, and also at the same time, they also shared all the imperfections of themselves. It's not like oh, I'm a sannyasi, and this and this. Oh, I'm a sannyasi, and I think I have the same problems as you guys. That's why I am a sannyasi. Or in a way, like a very, very, very truthful way. Like because I think sometimes there is also spiritual ego, and I don't see that in people there. I want to invite them. I have a very, very similar feeling from the yogi that we have the recording from India. I forgot his name now. That we went, and where there was the divine light and the Darut Perum Jyoti.
Nagaraj.
Nagaraj, yes. Very, very similar feeling in the sense of bhakti, in the sense of surrender, humbleness, and devotion. Very similar mindset in the sense of what they're looking in life, how they act, and so I feel very, very, very blessed to have met some peoples like this in Brazil. It is a very small place, very small place. Only a few people goes there. It's not because it's closed, because people go there and don't stay there.
Right.
And yeah, and one of the things that they say there is that associations, it's very important. People who you connect to, this is something that if you really want to grow in the spiritual aspect, you have to look for people who have practiced true spirituality, who have been in this path. Just like if you want to learn piano, we go and look for people who knows how to play piano. If you want to learn anything new, we go and we associate with people who are good with that. And as we associate, we also improve I think in spiritual life, or in this Kali Yuga sadhana. we have to connect ourselves with other people who are doing sadhana, or at least knows that they are doing sadhana.
Absolutely, that creates also protection circles for us as well, and good energy.
Yes, I think
Then
maybe we could.
this is
Yes.
beautiful. I want to thank you. It was a very beautiful kind of satsang we had here, talking from our hearts. So we hope it reaches a lot of hearts and souls in a good way. And yeah, maybe you can let me know when they want to come on. I'm
Yeah.
very happy to meet them, Danilo.
I will ask them. I know you will love. I know you will love. This person, this monk, he is very, 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 very truthful to his guru. Like, and that's one of the aspects that I like. In a sense that some people like they have this way, but they also don't like to be too restrict because they want
Mhm.
to consider others. He's like, oh no, it's like this because my guru said, and that's it. That's it.
Mm.
He don't care about how people will feel or others will think. He says what is in the scriptures, what his guru taught him, and what he feels in his heart. If he
Right.
feels in his, and he was last week he was doing a radio station, and on during the radio station on the like when there was a break, there was this marketing, oh, if you buy this mandala you become spiritual. And as soon as the program started, he says, this marketing that you heard, this is a lie. Like, by only having a mandala, it is not like by only buying a mandala it's not possible. You have to practice. Like, he was just saying how the marketing was wrong, and then people got angry at him because this is how we get money, you cannot say this is. So he said he's made enemies, but like that's the kind of person he is, like very truthful to his heart, in a sense that sometimes it is hard to talk to him because if he don't agree with something, and he's very, very like this, but nonetheless I have very, very big respect on his bhakti, because that is bhakti, like
Bhakti is so powerful. Bhakti is so powerful. This is a love to God, and there's a passion. So yeah, please invite him, Danilo. Thank you
yes,
so much for
yes.
that.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
Okay, I think we received a lot of energy, and I think we are ready to go to another round of
Yes,
of Kali days.
Kali
Of
Yoga Experience 2021, and I think we will be more active here, right, Danilo?
Yes, we will be more active. I am also working on myself. I am also improving a lot. I'm trying to improve a lot on myself, and in the sense is about doing more work, doing more, putting out more, and so yes, this year I am putting the intention to being more here in a more present way as well, not in a
Beautiful.
not in a, oh, let's get views way, but in a, oh, let's serve, let's
Let's serve, yes.
yes, let's serve all those who are coming here, all, let's serve ourselves, let's serve God through what we're doing here.
Right.
And I think that inspires me more than, oh, I want to make this because I want to get views. So I think now.
I'm
Mhm.
so thankful I know you, Daniel. So
I'm very
thankful.
thankful. I can the darkness retreat have definitely changed my life.
Mhm.
Definitely in every aspect. Even things I don't know have changed. Now I realize, oh, I didn't know this. So I I am also very grateful, Bharati.
I'm grateful I was a vehicle to do that and to meet
Yes,
you. And yeah,
yes.
wow. What a world we are in now. And yeah, so stay tuned, guys. Sign up for our channel if you didn't do that. Share it. Comment. Let us know what you think, what kind of subjects you want to hear. And we will be there for you soon again. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.